Hey guys, so about 20 minutes or so ago I finished Joseph Delaney's The Spook's Apprentice, which is book 1 in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, including like a collection edition little extra book series. So 15-piece series, first book, and I finally got around to reading it because, and this probably won't be the last time I mention it, but I won 2 random books within this series from Goodreads, like probably sometime last year, and I wanted to actually give it a go. So yeah, so I ended up picking up the first book and I finished it today. I probably could have finished it yesterday, which was like the 31st of August, but I already uploaded my wrap up and I was like, oh, I kind of just want to include this in next month's wrap up, so then it would look like I already wrote more books even though I had like a couple of pages left. Anyway, before I actually get into the review, I would like to express my concern for the up-and-coming 2015 film, which was inspired by the Spooks, and it's called The Seventh Son. Now, it looks awesome. I haven't seen any actual footage, but I've seen some pictures from the actual like film and stuff, and I'm a bit concerned because the main character in this, Thomas Ward, he's a 13-year-old lad, but the actor playing him, whose name I've totally forgotten right now, but he was Prince Caspian in one of the Narnia films. He's like, I think 31 or 33 years old. So how's a 33-year-old gonna play a 13-year-old child? That always confuses me when they do things like this within films. I don't understand why everyone doesn't go about the route, especially with a book with such a long like series. I don't know why they just don't go the route with like Harry Potter, where they employed the young actors and pretty much used them all the way through. Because if they are intending on making a full-length, you know, film for all the books, I think that'll be the best way to go, because this guy's gonna just look like what he is, a middle-aged man by the time they get to like the 5th book or whatever. I don't know if they're going to change him with age or whatever, or I know it's only inspired by the books, but I read up on what it's about and it's pretty much exactly the same as the first book, so surely they should stay a bit true to the actual novel. Anyway, with that said, I would like to go into my actual review now. So I ended up giving this book a 5 out of 5 out of Goodreads, and I'll explain why. So the book is about a young boy who is the 7th son of a 7th son, and there's like this tradition that these specific children should, well, I think that, yeah, they're all sons obviously, have to go off to do the trade of, well, they don't have to, but you know, it's what they do, to be the apprentice of the spook. Now, a spook is a sort of, I would explain it as a guardian of the world, because he's responsible for getting rid of all the troublesome like witches and boggarts and all the things that shouldn't belong on the earth. But the thing is, it's a lonely existence, because although the spook is needed in the world, nobody cares for them. They get shunned. They get like priests who see them do the big old cross and everything. They're literally like cast aside, pretty much shunned, but they're needed in the world. So I don't understand why people are like that. But it does take place in a sort of, I'd express it as almost like medieval kind of farm life land. So back in those days they were pretty religious, heavy on religion. So obviously spooks in like banishing demons and all that, and religion doesn't want to believe in it. It's a really good book. The story is really good, and it's nothing that I've actually read before, and coming from a point of view of someone who isn't too keen on middle like school books, I was really thoroughly surprised, like really well surprised at the content that this gave me. Now, the main character, Thomas Ward, he is the apprentice, so he is the 7th son of the 7th son, but he also has some other gifts that are sort of touched on maybe, because his mum, or ma'am, has some sort of special powers. They haven't actually spoke too much about this, but you can tell like in the undertones of the novel, and I'm really interested to see where this like takes us in the later books. But he's managed to do some things that not a normal spooks would be able to do. I like the character of Tom, our protagonist, because he's just, you know, he talks like a normal farmer lad in the medieval century would talk. I like the way how some of the words are, like ma'am is like how they would say it, how I'd assume they say it. However, there's a character in here called Alice, and I was really surprised. If you've read this, you know what I mean. I was really surprised with their friendship. I felt like it probably would go the opposite way, but they're actually more friendly with each other than I would have thought, which kind of surprised me, but I guess I'll get over it. I love the current Spook in this novel, who's called Gregory, because he's combined with just the right amount of airy spookiness and wisdom, and I think he's a great teacher. He's actually quite thorough in his teachings, which we see in the part of this book that I'll explain later. When Tom, he goes back home every now and then, I am a bit annoyed with his older brother's reaction, Jack. He's very angry and it gets on my nerves. It does explain a bit better near the end of the story as to why he's so angry, but it just agitates me because pretty much Tom had no choice in going and becoming an apprentice, because his mum really wanted him to do it, and his dad kind of has to not sell him off, but yeah, in a way sell off all his sons to a different trade to make sure that they get the best out of life. And because he's the seventh son, his mum, who's highly into all this, you have to do this, you have to do this, all this mysticalness, the dad had no sort of choice but to agree with her. I loved that it includes the symbols of what certain, I'll show you, of what certain like boggarts and gusts are, like their levels of danger and stuff. And at the end, which I won't show you because I might accidentally spoil a bit, at the end it has like the diary extracts of Tom's, like what he's been learning, so his notes and stuff, and that's what I was referring to a little minute ago, where he has all the teachings of Gregory, the current Spooks, and some more information that he's acquired along the way. So I think it's cool that you actually get to see what he's learning in the actual format that he would be writing it in. I don't know why, but that sort of stuff like really gets to me. The little illustrations on top of the, like under the chapters, so this one for example, I really think are quite cute. It just adds a nice little touch to the story. The front cover is really pretty cool as well. Pretty friggin' cool actually. It just looks awesome, really attractive, and you know, the way things are. The back is like where the synopsis is written quite nicely on like a scroll parchment paper. And yeah, the extract at the back of this got me really excited for the second book, which is The Spook's Curse, I believe. Also excited for the film to come out, even though I am a bit concerned at how they're going to be able to do that. All in all, great book, 5 out of 5 stars, definitely a good read for like middle school, border of young adult fantasy fiction. Yeah, great read and enjoy your day. See you later.